The real world is gonna be good because my parents can't tell me what to do. You can stay out late and your parents can't say nothing. You can bring home girls and they can't say nothing.
Has anyone ever talked to you about the real world, usually negative? Well, nobody tells me that phrase, the real world. The only thing they tell me is that I am little and that I don't know anything about big people, that I live in a pink and small world and in a fantasy land that was a dumb world for them. But they didn't think that when they were small. They thought that the fantasy world was wonderful, but now that they're grown up, they don't think the same. I don't care if they tell me I am living in a pink and small world and like a fantasy land. It's my world, my pink world, and not theirs.
In the real world, everyone has problems and everyone worries. In the fantasy world, everything is perfect and there's no problems and worries. In the real world, you don't get everything you want. If you do like in a fantasy world, there wouldn't be a reason to live. In the real world, you have kids that give you white hair and stress. I think that the adults think the real world is worrying and having problems. The real world is pain for them. They also worry about keeping their children safe and themselves safe from violence.
My parents don't talk about that real world stuff. I don't even know what it is. My parents don't talk about it, so how am I going to talk about it?
Yes, somebody has talked to me about the phrase, the real world. I believe that it was about a year ago. My dad had been telling me to clean up something, but I said no for the 5th or 6th time. And then he told me that if I would be like that in the real world, I won't be nothing.
Yes, my sister, or older sister, always tells me that about the real world when we get mad at each other. She says that because I think she is jealous, because she has 2 kids and she doesn't go out, she doesn't go to school or anything.
Everyone has an idea of the real world. Some only care about having babies or about the money. They could be alone or be married and have kids. Some think that the real world is just to play around with girls, and they think that the real world is just for getting the girls pregnant. I think that the real world is to make the world better and clean. Like Martin Luther King Jr. said, we must all learn to live together as brothers, or we will die together as fools.
Yeah, my dad talks about the real world all the time. When my dad talks about the real world, he means that we're not going to have it easy when we're older. He says the real world is a lot harder than sitting down all day long watching MTV and stupid cartoons. I really am not looking forward to it.
Real world. I don't even know anything about the real world. They say that the real world is about people's problems like the bills, crime, and the racism. My parents always complain about the bills, that every month the price goes up. When she says that every day crime gets worse. The most thing she complains about is the racism. Everywhere you see people calling themselves niggers, paisas, white boys. But I think the real world is about having fun, playing sports with other people from other cultures. That is my real world. Before I go to bed, I always say in my mind, stop violence and the racism.